Hi, this is Joe Bolen, and today we're going to continue our text editor. We're going to do the File New option. It sounds pretty simple, but there is a little bit more involved if you think about it. So let's get into our program where we left off and begin to code our File New option. I have on the screen running currently a compiled version of where we left off, which is basically just a shell. We had done at this point in time the menu strip where we could select on different items in our menu strip. We had edited it out and got it correct. We also had the tool strip set that we could use as well. And you'll see right at the moment, as I click on the new option, all it does is say code file new option. All of these right now, in fact, do nothing more than just tell me I need to code the code for this particular section. So let's get into the code and begin the process of adding our file new option. Okay, let me close that one out and let's go full screen. And I'm going to go to the code on this in just a minute. First of all, we have already in our code the shell that we've been working with. And you'll see this shell described below, and I'm going to expand the file menu option one, and you'll see my file new. Very simple. Right now I have a to-do list where I'm having the message box. Also, you'll see at the very top I've got the information about where to go out to Pastebin to find the location. That's pastebin.com/use/jboh. So you can find the code that we're doing today, as well as the code we'll be continuing to do out there at Pastebin. Okay, let's take a look at our file new option. Well, it would be very simple just to code a very quick solution to this, which most new beginners would do. They would do my Textbox clear, and that would take care of it. Let's in fact run that. Okay, I've got it up there, and let's put some data in there, this garbage, and I'm going to hit the file new. And it wipes it out and does exactly what we think we should do. But let's consider another possibility. Let's say for a moment that I have over in my text box a lot of data. In fact, maybe I've written a great new novel on that. And if I accidentally hit the new option or the file new option, well, what would happen? It would all go away. Maybe I had saved it before I had done that. But what if I hadn't? What if I just accidentally clicked on it? Well, we need to consider that there might be information in our text box. And so we want to monitor our text box for if things have changed. And we can do that very simply by monitoring for a property called the modified property. Well, I'm going to paste in real quickly our real solution to this so you can start to see how to solve this problem. So I'm going to come up here and grab the code for this one, and then we'll talk about what it does. Okay, we'll put it in here. And that sets that. I'm going to get the handles over a little bit here. There. And I have a repeat here code accidentally. I'm going to take out the to-do at this point. Okay. Now you'll see at this point in time, coming in with the new tool strip menu click or the new tool strip button click, that would come into our code. And we have a routine here called save changes that I have not yet coded for. But what I'm going to do is go out to my function of save changes. If in fact the user says they want to save the information, I'll return back a true Boolean flag, and then I'll do the save tool strip menu item to save it. Then come back in and continue out my path. So I also want to clear out any information about my file where I've saved it, because at this point it'll be a brand new file. So my working path file, which we haven't defined yet, will need to be cleared out with the string empty. And the title area, I'm just going to make application title. Now you're seeing right now a number of errors in here. So let's put in the couple of things we need to have in here. And one of the things I'm going to do is come up here to the declare class level variables. And we're going to add a couple of variables to solve some of the problems we have right now. And one of those is that I need to have in here two variables to save some of the problems down below. And one thing is the application title. This comes from the my part of my application info title, and we can change dynamically our title by changing that information. I'll show you later on how we do that. And then also I wanted to just initialize my working path file to a string empty. At that point things clear up down here except for my save change area. Now let's go down here and look at the logic. We've come into this, we've asked the user whether they want to save the changes, and if it comes back true, we'll save the changes, then continue on. If not, we'll just bypass it and come on down through. And in fact, we use the My Textbox, and we do the My Textbox clear, but we also want to set a flag that's part of the property of the My Textbox or the Textbox class, and this is the modified property to false. And that way we know nothing is changed with our text box. And as I start coding anything in the text box, that modified flag will switch over to true, and I'll know that in fact the data has changed in there. And then the last part is to set the focus back to the text box to either continue typing or to bring that back into our attention to do anything else we want with the text box. So this is the key area of what we're doing, but we have to do a little check before that. Now we need to code in also the save changes, and I'm going to put the save changes for this one after another option. So I'm going to bring it down here because we're going to use the save changes a couple times, and I'm going to bring in the code now for that. Okay, copy it over, and we're going to paste it into this spot. And this is a function, and as we call save changes, we'll come into the function, and we're going to find out whether the user wants to save it. So I look at the text box's modified property. If in fact it has been modified and the changes occurred in our text box, we're going to bring up the message box. Do you want to save your changes? Yes or no, and I'm going to use a icon with a question mark. If the person replies back with a yes, that'll give me back a message box response of yes, and I'll have a true statement through here, and I'm going to return back a true as a Boolean return value. If they do not choose a yes on this, or we have not modified the text box, we can just drop right down to the false property, return false, and then we know that we do not need to worry about saving any changes. So let's see this run, and whoops, I got an error. Let me say no, and in sub I'm missing. It must be right here. I've got an extra one in here accidentally. There we go. Now let's start it. And we've got our text up here, and now if I say new and I haven't changed anything, no problem. But now let's add some things. Okay, now I've got it changed, and so now I'm going to do new, and I'll get the prompt save changes. Do you want to save your changes? And I can say yes, and we'll see what happens. I haven't yet coded the save area, so that pops up, and then it continues on and clears it out. So that's one of the things we can do. And I don't have undo available yet, so I have to re-key it back in. Let me just key in my name on that. Once again, we'll show it under the new option, whether I want to save it or not. If I say no, once again, it'll pop and clear it out. So we've coded in the possibility of changes being made. We come into the Save Changes, come down and check to see if we return back a true statement. We come back down here to our area where we coded that in on that, and we'll see it come through. Do the check. If we want to save it, we'll return back a true. Otherwise, we'll return back a false. This is a function returning back a value. In this case, we defined it as a Boolean value being returned back, either true or false. And once we come back through here, we'll make the decision of either saving it or not, and which we'll code later on. Then we get everything set. We change the text on the main form to say application title information that we've retrieved up at the very top here with my application info title. And we'll see this title change as we add a file. We'll put the name of the file with the application on the top so we know what file we're working with all the time. So this is basically all it takes to do this particular one. The important thing to remember is sometimes things that look very simple, like just clearing a text box for the new option, is actually a little bit more complex than that. We want to go out and check to see, first of all, if things have been modified with our text box at all, and give the user the option to save it or not. And one of the things we look at is the modified property of the text box. So we'll be seeing that modified property used in a number of places throughout our program as we develop it to indicate whether something has changed in our text box and what kind of action we need to do based off of the fact that we have modified something in that text box. So until next time, go out to Pastebin and take a look at the code that I just added in this video. Also get the rest of the code that we've done thus far, the shell, and you'll see the information about laying out the main form and getting everything set. Watch the earlier videos as well to get ready for this one, and we'll look at the next couple of options coming up in our next videos. So take care, get your hands dirty in the code, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and until then, keep coding.